Okay, today's topic is position classification, meaning, purpose, and process. How many of you have heard about position classification? Shreya, do you know what is position classification? Okay, position classification refers to the systematic process of organizing jobs. It is a systematic process of organizing job within an organization into categories or classes based on their duties, responsibilities, qualifications and complexities. Now every organization have certain specialized positions. There are specific duties to perform, and some responsibilities are assigned to every to each section, like each position. So based on their duties, based on their responsibilities and the qualification, position is decided, which refers to as position classification. Now it is a systematic process of organizing jobs in the organization based on their categories. Okay, this framework enables consistency in defining roles, determine the compensation and ensure fairness in the job evaluation. The more the fairer the process, the more clarity is there. It is easier for every employee to know their responsibilities. It is easier for the organizations to give the responsibilities, and the more job clarity will be there after the position classification. So, position classification is a critical aspect of human resource management, and it is particularly significant in larger organization. The larger the organization, there are more responsibilities, more like when there is a large organization. We are not talking about the smaller organization, because people are small. In a smaller organization there is less number of people. It is easier to handle a small number of people as compared to the larger group of people. When it's come to the larger group of people or larger organization, we need to specify the jobs, we need to specify the duties, we have to specify the responsibilities, so that there is no chances of clashes, role conflict, and everyone should be knowing whom they are like whom they need to take the decision, like whom they need to adhere to, and from like who will be the who will be the people, like what will be his responsibility, what are their roles. Okay, job clarity is the basic aim of position classification, and basically it is in the larger organizations. So human resource management, and its particular significant in larger is including government agencies, educational institutions and multinational corporations, where a diverse array of job role must be managed cohesively. Because when there are large number of people, the more clarity will help the organization to run smoothly, efficiently and effectively. So when we are talking about the position purpose of position classification, first is standardization. What is standardization? It provides a consistent framework for evaluating and categorizing jobs, ensuring similar roles and treated equally across the organization. It provides a consistent framework. Standardization is like if we talk about the term, what is standardization? Like standardization is clear rules, regulation and set rules, regulation, which are like any, it is not based on the subjective like based on subjective perception. It is based on the objectivity, like the way how things to be handled, how the work to be assigned, how the duty should be performed. So there is a standardization. It's not like that if a person tomorrow goes, then the organization feels helpless in performing those duties. Somewhere, some person, if the more the organization is standardized in its roles and duties, it is easier for any other person to work in similar, that gap can be filled anytime. It is easier for the organization to run smoothly. So this is the basic aim of the standardization. Suppose we take an example, like suppose there is a duty, that this is the process of making a decision. In an specific set rules are there. So based on those rules and regulation, if anybody, even if if he leaves the organization, even then if some other person comes in that place, he will be doing same work in same way, because the organization is standardized. There are set formats, there are set ways of doing something. So it is easier for the person who is joining new, and it is easier for the organization to work efficiently. Is it clear? So next is fair compensation. What is fair compensation? Compensation is like salary, perks, and suppose most of the employee work for their salaries. Basically, it is the main thing. Although there are other ways why a person work for the organization, maybe it is some person may be working for their satisfaction, maybe whatever their aim. The basic thing is salary and perks. These are undeniable thing which is associated with the job. So fair compensation is one of the major aspect in an organization which aligns pay structure with the relative value of the job, promoting fairness in the remuneration based on the complexity, skill requirement and responsibility of each position. It should not be that a person who is having more qualification or having more experience is getting lesser salary. It is sometimes demoralizing, and it is very heartening also that other person who don't have that much experience, that much qualification, he or she is getting equal salary much more than the person who is having more experience and more qualifications. So fair compensation is the another purpose of position classification. So next point is workforce planning. Workforce planning. Workforce planning. Why it is important? What is the relevance of workforce planning? Facilitates effective workforce planning by clearly defining the roles and skills set required for various positions, enable better recruitment and training decision. Better it is planned, it will help the workforce to work efficiently. Next is role clarity. It will help in getting the clarity in role, responsibilities, duties. It enhances the organizational efficiency by ensuring employees understand their roles, responsibilities and expectations tied to their positions. Got it? So next is fifth is legal and policy compliance, which ensures adherence to the labor laws and the regulation related to the equal pay, non-discrimination and job evaluation. Usually you have seen that there is discrimination in the labor forces. One person is doing lesser work and still he is getting better pays. So the position classification helps in legal and policy compliances, which is in the benefit of the employees. So it adheres to the labor laws and its regulations and help in equal pay and no discrimination. Next is career development. Now it creates a transparent framework for career progression by outlining the qualifications and experience required for the advancement. Career development is important. Do you think this? Because if an organization is developing, if they are developing their like employees, it will ultimately benefit the organization itself, because the more qualification or the more they are trained in a better way, ultimately it will lead to the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. So it creates a transparent framework for career progression by outlining the qualification and experience required for the advancement. Now what are the key components of position classification? First of all, what are the key factors before assigning certain position or position classification? Categorization of the proper classification of the position, we need to identify what are the base responsibilities and what are the base duties. before categorization we should be knowing all the basic aspect related to a position. So first of all is job analysis. First step is job analysis. As the name suggests, we analyze the basic information, we analyze the duties, responsibilities and the qualification for a position. And output include job description and job specification. We describe the job, what are its requirements, what are its qualification, what are its responsibilities, what are its role and what is expected from this position. So this is job description. And job specification is we specify that this particular job is particularly related to this specialization or this whatever specific areas are there, under this job specification is done. Next is job classification. Second step is job classification. Now we are going to group the positions with similar responsibilities and qualification into class, grade or levels. We assign grades, levels and class to the jobs. So next is common classification structure include hierarchical level, junior, senior, manager or categories like technical category, administrative category or operational category. Okay. Work for the administration, some people will work for the like academics, or some people will be specifically working for the organizational purpose in the organization. And in those type of categories there are some people will be like juniors, seniors, managers, like that. So these are the common classification structure include hierarchical levels and the categories. Okay. So the next is compensation alignment. Alignment, it is linking the classified position to the specific pay grade and salary range and ensuring internal and external equity in compensation. If I take an example of an educational institute, there are position classification. First there is assistant professor in academics, there is associate professor and there is professor. So like this there is a proper classification of the jobs. Like these kind of jobs, they have specified the salary range also, plus they have specified the time period, like how after how much experience a person will be eligible for the next higher level position. Got it? So this is called as like based on these compensation is also aligned as per the experience is increasing, qualification is increasing, based on that compensation is also aligned in the position classification. Now the next is evaluation matrix. Now evaluation matrix is using standardized criteria to assess job complexity, decision making authority, skill requirement and responsibility level. It is a standardized criteria for deciding the job complexity, decision making authority, skill requirement and the responsibility level. About the position classification process. First we analyze the job, like we will understand detailed we will conduct job interviews, surveys and or observation of the documents, job responsibility, qualification and work conditions. So based on this, first job analysis is done. Second is job description development. We will create job description and that outline the basic main duties and responsibility, the task with the role. Second is knowledge, skill and abilities required for that particular job, that is KSA. Next is reporting relationships, the hierarchical structure and supervisory dynamics. Reporting relationship is the hierarchical structure of supervisory dynamics. Third aspect is classification criteria design. This is we will develop criteria to differentiate positions such as complexity. The more the complex is the job, like it will be created under a specific category based on the complexity of the decision making or difficulty of the work. Like these kind of things will be taken into consideration before classifying a particular job under a certain criteria. So job design is we differentiating different position based on their complexity of the duties, degree of supervision required, or need, like requirement of the supervision, to what extent supervision or is required in that particular job, scope of the decision making authority. So based on these functions, we will classify the criteria. Including all these, we also categorize the level of educational expertise or technical expertise required for that particular job. Got it? So next is grouping and the grading. And the grading, assigning position to the specific class or grades based on the evaluation criteria. Example, position with similar technical requirements and responsibility may be grouped under the same classification. Next is compensation structure alignment. Link job classification to salary, grade, ensuring consistency with the market benchmark and organizational budget. So compensation structure alignment is also important. Maybe there is inflation going on and there may be government is competing with the other private institution, then there is need to, like we need to take care that we are compensating the employees as per their job requirement. Because suppose earlier there was no inflation, now these days inflation is there, so to maintain the same life standard they need more money. So based on these, compensation structure is to be designed accordingly. So like in India, although there is no position classification, but when it comes to the like there are certain pay grades or pay commissions in most of the countries which decide the compensation and the pay grade. So these organizations are like they should, they must take these commissions report for, so that their employees feel that they are being compensated as per their requirement, as per their position. So next is review and approval. Engage human resource like HR department heads and relevant stakeholder to review classification and resolve discrepancies. This is the another step before finalizing the job position or position classification. The reviews from HR department and all the relevant stakeholders should be taken before before finalizing and removing the discrepancies. Seventh is implementation and the maintenance. Communicate classification to the employees and manager. Regular review and update classification to reflect change in the job role and organizational need. Now if we talk about why we are doing all these like labor for classifying the human resource. So first advantage of position classification is equity and the transparency, which ensures fair treatment of the employees by standardizing job evaluation and compensation process. It will help in providing equality to all the employees in the organization based on their qualification, based on their duties they are going to perform, or the work they are like how much valuable they are to the organization, and based on their scope. So it will help in equity and maintaining the transparency in the organization. Next is the efficiency in human resource processes. It streamlines the recruitment, promotion, salary determination by providing a clear framework for everyone. Next is employee motivation. It is important aspect in an organization. The more the people in an organization feel motivated, it will boost the morale by providing clarity on career progression and recognition of job value. Fourth is cost management. It prevents overpayment and the underpayment. It is simple to align compensation with the job clarity, complexity and market standards. So nobody should feel that they are underpaid as per their qualification, as per their value to the organization. So it helps in the cost management, plus it motivates the employees and increase the efficiency in the organization. Now let us talk about the challenges of position classification. So first of all is subjectivity. Despite standardized criteria, subjective interpretation can lead to the inconsistencies, because it is not easy to standardize or categorize all the position based on their duties, their roles, qualification. There are many criterias. So first of all, the basic challenge is subjectivity, which cause inconsistency in position classification. Second is dynamic work environment. So as the environment is changing day by day due to globalization, due to liberalization or whatever other reason, rapidly there are changes in the job role due to technical advancement or organizational restructuring may overpace the classification system. So there is dynamism in the work environments. Third is resistance to change. Resistance is like employees and managers may resist reclassification effort, and especially if it impacts the compensation and the status. So as you know that compensation are important, if because moreover one more problem or challenge is that we need to update it very soon. It goes outdated after a certain time period because of the dynamics, because of dynamic changes happening around the world. So if we conclude, position classification is an indispensable HR tool for creating a structured and equitable workforce. By organizing job into well-defined categories and alignment them with the appropriate compensation, it enhances organizational efficiency, employee satisfaction and organizational compliance. However, its success depends on the meticulous hard job, like job analysis is required. Intellectually, then we need to put lot of efforts. There is requirement of stakeholder collaboration and regular updation of the in the job position, so that it can reflect evolving organization and the market conditions. So here we have completed the position classification.